Wine had a rule: never bring your personal life to campus. It was a clean rule, a sensible one, the kind of rule that kept two worlds from leading into each other in ways that were impossible to explain and even harder to clean up. She kept her university ID in a separate wallet from her regular one. She didn't use her real last name on academic submissions, just the initials, just a buffer. She sat in the middle of the rows of lecture halls, never the front where professors remembered your face, and never the back where they assumed the worst of you. She was, in every way that mattered on paper, an unremarkable graduate student doing remarkable work, and that was exactly how she wanted it. The man was the man she was engaged to was not unremarkable, not in any sense of the word. Jungkook ran three companies above ground: logistics, real estate, a private security firm, and something considerably larger and unconsiderably less documented beneath them. He was 27-year-old and had been the head of the Jeon syndicate since he was 22. When his father handed him the ring the same week, he handed him a Mont Blanc pen and told him that the signature was the most dangerous weapon a man could carry. He had then taken both lessons seriously. He signed contracts with the pen and resolved everything else with the other kind of bar. The quiet, structural, permanent kind that left no bruises and no evidence and no room for appeal. He and Ryan had met at a charity gala that her university had required all graduate scholarships recipients to attend. She had been standing near the grab gears, looking like she was calculating the exact minimum number of minutes she needed to stay before she could leave with her scholarship intact. He had been standing 3 feet away, suffering through the same calculus in a suit that cost more than her monthly stipend. They had looked at each other and understood something immediately, the way people sometimes do: that they were both performing, both fluent in the same language of patience and private frustration. Both were very much not where they wanted to be. He had handed her a glass of champagne she hadn't asked for and said very quietly, "If I ask you something, will you answer honestly?" And she had looked at him and said, "Depends on the question." And he said, "How soon are you planning to leave?" And she had said, 22 minutes. You? And he said, "I could be convinced to make it 23. They had lived together. They had been inseparable in the months since. And now 8 months into something that had grown roots neither of them had planned for, and both of them had stopped pretending to resist. She wore his ring on a chain around her neck, because wearing it on her finger was the rule she had made, and he had, with some difficulty, respected. Campus was campus. Her work was hers. She was not in any legal or social or public sense the fiancé of one of the most powerful and feared men in the country. Until tonight, that had been a very manageable fiction. The university hallways were quiet at 8:30, that hollow, fluorescent kind of quiet that made every footstep sound like a confession. Ryan had stayed late night. Again, third time this week, her thesis draft wasn't going to write itself, and Professor Choi's office hours were the only time she could access the restricted academic database she needed. She had her laptop back over one shoulder and her phone in her coat pocket. The text from Jungkook on the same screen that she had answered with a thumbs up because she was walking fast and didn't want it to stop. He had called right after she had answered, told him that she was heading into the meeting and meant to end the call. She had her fingers on the red button when Joy's door opened. She didn't end it. The phone slipped into her coat pocket, unlocked, screen dark, the call timer running silently. She knocked twice. The door swung open before her knuckle landed a third time. The Professor Choi stood in the frame, reading glasses pushed up into his thinning hair. His smile just a fraction too wide, the kind of smile that had practiced itself in mirrors until it stopped looking like effort and started looking like warmth. He was 53, well published, sitting on 2 editorial boards and a university tenure committee. He had shaken hands with ministers and been photographed at enough academic conferences to have Wikipedia entry that his graduate assistant maintained. He was, by every institutional measure, untouchable. Ryan, right on time. Come and close the door behind you. She hesitantly did that for exactly 1 second. She noticed the hesitation, noted it, and filed it. Then she stepped inside and pulled the door shut. The office smelled of paper and coffee and something underneath that she didn't name, but that made the back of her neck do something she consciously ignored. The desk lamp threw amber shadows. There were 2 chairs, the one across the desk, which was the normal chair, a student chair, and the another one that he pulled around the side, close to his own. He gestured toward the wrong one. Ryan sat. She put her bag on her lap. She kept her spine straight. She had been noticing it for weeks, the way his gaze has held her 3 seconds longer when she presented in seminar, the way his hand found reasons to brush hers during paper handbags, the way he scheduled her consultations last, after the building had emptied. She had run the calculus on every time and come to the same conclusion. She had no proof, no corroboration. Choi had the kind of institutional armor that required something irrefutable to dent. A vague complaint filed with a committee he served on would slide off him like water. She needed specifics. She had decided somewhere in the preceding 2 weeks that the next time he gave her specifics, she would collect them. Tonight apparently was the night. Your thesis is exceptional, he said. He had her printed a draft open on the desk, annotated in red, and he turned it towards her, but the movement brought his shoulder close enough to hers that she could feel the heat of it. You have a genuinely analytical mind. I want you to understand that what I'm about to say comes from a place of recognizing that. I appreciate that, she said. Her voice came out level. She was proud of it. You're understanding your potential. Not academically. The work is extraordinary, but academically, work alone really opens the right doors. You need advocates. You need someone who can put your name in the right rooms. Recommend you for 8 publications. He leaned back slightly as though giving her space, but his elbows was now resting on the armrest of her chair. I'm on the editorial board of 3 international journals, Ryan. I'm the review chair for 2 upcoming conferences. I could have your work in the print before you graduate. I could have your name on 3 collaborative publications by the time you're defending. That's very generous, she said carefully. What kind of collaboration would that involve? He smiled. I think you're smart enough to understand what I'm saying without me having to be explicit about it. And then his hand came down over hers, where it rested on her laptop bag. In her coat pocket, the call has been running for 9 minutes. In a penthouse overlooking half of Seoul, Jungkook had gone very, very still. He had been 3 words into a sentence about territorial boundaries when her name had appeared on his phone screen. He had paused mid-word. The men in the room, 5 of them, senior lieutenants, each responsible for a different district of operation, had all gone still in the particular way that people in his orbit learned to go still when he paused unexpectedly, like animals registering a change in atmospheric pressure before the storm. He had glanced at the screen, answered it as he stepped towards the hall. Give me 2 minutes, he had told the room, and the room had produced 2 minutes for him immediately because the room always did. In the corridor, all dark marbles and ambient light, the distant hum of the city far below. He had lifted the phone to his ear. Hey, I'm in the middle of something. I'll call you back in. She hadn't answered. There had been the sound of movement, a door, the acoustic shift of a smaller enclosed space, and then voices, her voice careful and measured in the particular way she got when she was managing something, and another voice, male, self-satisfied with the particular cadence of a man who had grown so accustomed to being deferred to that he had forgotten what it felt like when someone didn't. Jungkook had stopped walking. He stood in his own corridor in the building that bore his family's corporate name on 3 external plaques, and he listened. His face changed the way a landscape changes before bad weather, not dramatic, not sudden, just a settling, a going quiet. The thing that the people who worked for him had learned to read faster than any raised voice or obvious anger. He heard the compliments, parsed the subtext, immediately understood exactly what was being offered and what was being demanded in return. He listened to Ryan's responses carefully and precisely, leading the conversation without appearing to lead it, collecting and felt beneath the cold steady thing that was assembling in his chest a flash of something almost like awe at how controlled she was, how completely she held her ground while appearing to yield it. And then he heard the pause, the tiny sound she made, barely audible sound at all when something physical happened and that she hadn't wanted to happen. He knew that sound, he knew in the way she knew her laugh and specific frequency of her voice when she was tired, and the way she said his name when she was trying not to need him. He knew it because he had made it quite an obvious thing, I guess. He knew it because he had made it his business to know everything about her, and he had not done so casually. He turned back towards the meeting room door. He opened it without knocking. The 5 men looked up. We are done for tonight, he said. I need the address of Hanson University's graduate faculty building, so get a car to the front now, and someone roll everything from there is on a Professor Choi, graduate faculty humanities division. I want it in the next 5 minutes. He was already moving towards the elevator, phone back at his ear. Ryan, he said quietly without breaking stride. Keep talking to him, don't end the call. I'm on my way. In the room behind him, 5 of the most dangerous men in Seoul were already reaching for their phones, because when Jungkook's voice sounded like that even controlled haptic with purpose. They had learned that speed was the most important gift they could give him. Vine did not pull her hand away immediately. That would have been the instinct, the correct human instinct, but she had learned in the months since Jungkook had expanded her understanding of what it meant to be strategic. That instinct and strategy were sometimes two different languages, and wrong one could cost you everything. Instead, she shifted very slightly, as though settling and resettling her back, and the movement accomplished the same withdrawal without a signal. Choi's hand slid off hers. He didn't seem to notice the mechanism of it. I want to make sure I understand the arrangement correctly, she said. You'd co-author with me or recommend my individual work for publication. He settled back. Either both, potentially depending on how our collaboration develops. And the alternative, she asked, if I wanted to pursue the standard review process. Academic review is a long process, he said. Particularly for first-time applicants without established names, reviews can take years. Feedback cycles can be extensive for students without the right advocacy. The process can be genuinely discouraging. A pause. I'd hate for someone of your caliber to find discouraging. Thread cleared, deniable, perfectly constructed. I was just describing the academic process. I don't know why she had interrupted in that way. I nodded, slowly, undeliberately, clinically. The content of conference he was chairing in Busan in the spring, for which he could arrange her speaking slot. And the things went by that only. This is a private, you can't. Who are you? Jungkook didn't answer when he saw him. He crossed to Ryan first. Without hurry, without looking at Choi again, he stood beside her chair and looked down at her the way he always looked at her when he was checking a full-face assessment, quick and thorough, cataloging. His eyes moved over her once. Are you alright? I'm fine. I was handling it. I know you were. But I don't want you. I have a recording, Jungkook said, of everything you said tonight, the offer, the implied alternative. Your hand on her knee? I don't know who you think you are, but this is university and it has. I also have the testimony of two previous graduate students who received similar visits to this office. Those women will be filing formal complaints. I've already been in contact with their lawyers. You're bluffing, Choi said. Seok is outside, he'll take you down. Go and wait in the car. you.